Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today. Hope you all had a lovely July 4th if you're in America. And, you know, well, actually, I hope you have a lovely July 4th no matter where in the world you are, I suppose. And I guess that doesn't have to be restricted to America, but still. Yeah. There was possibly meant to be some D&D today, but unfortunately, one of my friends is ill, so I'm wishing him a swift recovery. So it gave me time, I suppose, to just, like, you know, play some games, I suppose. I'm playing a bit more Zenless Zone Zero, but we'll get into that in a second. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 9:17 PM on Friday, July 5th, 2024. Yeah, I think it's interesting so far. Like, I think it does, like, a lot of unique things. Like, I think its story is engaging. You know, your main character actually feels like a main character who's... It's one of the best things about this is that your main character, like someone else put it very succinctly, is like, it's nice that your main character is like already established in this world. Like, you have these connections, which me as a player, I'm just like, oh, you know, I have to learn about. But the MC is just like, oh yeah, you know, we know these people. We kind of know what we're doing. A lot of, I suppose, what you have to... Why do we have 2 stone axes? Was I meant to make... I bet I was meant to make a shovel. I bet I made an axe or something. How did that happen? Anywho, that's neither here nor there. You know what? Oh, because we can't even make a shovel with what we have. I got the stuff to make out to make an axe, not a shovel. But that's fine. Let's just literally go buy a shovel. Yeah, so I played a bit of Zen Zero. I didn't have a lot of time yesterday to actually play, so I was going to try and play till the same thing as Star Rail. Play it until you can start using the equivalent of your like limited currency and start using whatchamacallit? Being able to do daily missions. And I thought I made it when I hit level 10. It turns out that those were not daily missions, those were just like regular missions, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. And I was like, it's pretty late, so I'm just gonna like go to sleep instead. You know, I'll miss out on the day of like doing these commissions or whatever. If I had a whole day, if I didn't have a busy evening, I probably would have had the time, I think, to do so. But yeah, it's fun, I suppose. Like, I will, like, to be completely honest, it's not like fully sold me yet, but I think it's because the combat I've like not quite understood yet. It's definitely the hardest of a combat of all the, well, actually it might be easier or harder than Honkai Impact Third, which I've not played, so I don't know. Other ones I've played, you know, turn-based strategies, I think definitely quite easy to pick up. Genshin is rather simplistic combat. It's kind of like flashy bursts, if anything. This one is like, it's kind of got like combos. You got like parries, which you need to time, and like you have like skills and EX skills depending on how much energy you've got. And then you got like tag teams and like sort of swap out assists or something. I can't remember like what terms they use, and I was just like learning it, and I was like, oh my god, like it's like 1 AM right now. This is a bit much for me right now. But you know, I'm having a good time with it. I'll play some more today. I want to give it like at least a little bit. See what I feel about it, to be like, yeah, I like it or I don't, you know. Depends what that daily loop is like, you know. I appreciate a game which has a short daily loop, and every so often you can spend more time in it. But yeah, I mean, it does feel like quite combo based. It's quite a simplistic combo system, you know. It's kind of like fighting games. I've played my fair share of fighting games, and for some reason, but part of me is like, oh, learning like neutral, or neutral just being sort of like the state where like neither side has a distinct advantage or something. In a fighting game, I'm like, oh, that's boring. You know what the fun part is? Learning combos, to a certain degree. They're very annoying to pull off, I suppose. But once you get the timing down, it's like, wow, mwah, chef's kiss sort of thing. But I've played my fair share of fighting games. What fighting game have I played the most? Technically, probably one of the Smash Bros or something, like cumulatively throughout the entire series. But to me, Smash Bros has always been like a party game rather than a much of a competitive game. I'm not saying that there isn't a competitive game. Like, I'm not saying Smash competitive shouldn't exist. It's more like I never knew it as a competitive game. That's kind of what I meant. But I played it like as a party game, a lot, you know, items on or whatever, etc., etc. And then, you know, okay, what's my second most played fighting game? Skullgirls, probably. I don't remember combos very well anymore. I still can vaguely remember a combo with Cerebella, which like some sort of bread and butter combo, which can, you know, doesn't have to end in meter, but optionally can end in meter. But it was like jumping, heavy kick, lower, crouching, light kick or light punch. Like, it was weird because when I played, I used the keyboard to play, and I used my arrow keys in my right hand, and then I used like Q, W, E, A, S, D to do like the punches and kicks and Skullgirls. And I can remember it's like, okay, so jump D, crouching A, standing medium, stand. It's weird, I would say, playing a fighting game and not having to hold down our direction, you know. It's weird, like, letting go of a joystick to, like, be like, oh, I need to, like, standing punch, but I can't be, like, holding forward, otherwise I'll do, like, some sort of lunge attack, which will break my combo. That I could, like, never get around. I found, and I could never get around with, like, pressing it with the exact right timing. I always just found myself, I don't know if you're meant to do this, but basically mashing to try and get the press out as soon as possible, which was just a bit tiring, to be honest. But yeah, I played a decent amount of Skullgirls, played a decent amount of Them's Fighting Herds. Actually, I remember another combo from Peacock in Skullgirls. It was one of the simplest combos, but like her jumping, like, this is not nonsensical, but this is probably not very interesting conversation for anyone here, but her jumping heavy kick tossed out her friend Avery, which was like a projectile which did slashes. So it was like the one combo I knew in Peacock, apart from like the keep away sort of combos where you like chain the bombs together or whatnot, but that's neither here nor there. And what was it? It goes like jumping medium heavy kick, no, jumping medium kick, jumping heavy kick, land, jumping light punch, jumping medium kick, jumping heavy kick, jump and then land, jumping like light kick, jumping heavy kick. It was basically you interweave a lot of jumping heavy kicks in there, and it was like one of the easiest combos that I found. Like, it's not like an efficient bread and butter combo or something on Peacock, but it was one where it's just like, oh, this is like super easy for me to learn. It's basically just cycle through like 4 attacks while having a jumping heavy kick in there. But there's also like no big payoff, I think, for that combo from what I recall. There might have been, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've really played well, it's not been that long since I played Skullgirls, but a long time since I've like learned, etc., how to play Skullgirls. I don't know, it's interesting, like, learning combos and stuff. I mean, Skullgirls is sort of like a different case, isn't it? Because Skullgirls, as I hear, apparently creating Skullgirls combos is actually like really fun. It's like experimental because they have like Skullgirls has like the system to prevent like infinite loop combos. And I remember when it first came out, it was like super complicated. It's like it like basically tracks every sort of like chain of attacks you do, and you can't start a chain with the same type of attack over and over again. Where crouching and standing attacks count as the same type of attack, so crouching light punch and standing light punch is like the same, but it's different from jumping light punch. So it's basically just seeing like how many chains you can do while like restanding your opponent getting a jump in as well, and like stuff like that. Basically, how many sort of these chains can you do to squeeze out maximum damage? But that's how it was when the game initially launched. I remember it, and combos were so crazy long. And then they like nerfed the combo system. Like, they introduced not just anti-infinites, which is what that was meant to do, but they introduced like a dizzy system or something, right? Where it's like I don't remember how dizzy works, but like each move adds like a certain amount to the opponent's dizzy meter, and then like once it gets full, it means that the combo will. What happens basically, like both when you trigger an infinite combo and the dizzy combo, is like the opponent will get a choice to like press literally any button and it will do an attack. I think it's a non-damaging attack which basically staggers the enemy if it hits. So it's basically a button which is like, get off me. But then, you know, there's like the meta of like, not only does that happen, there's like the meta of like baiting out bursts. Well, that's what it's called when it happens. Baiting out bursts from your opponent. So like you would unpurposely trigger like the infinite combo, or the whatchamacallit, the undizzy, and then they would burst, but you like dodge out the way of a burst, and then you like restart the combo on them, and then it gives you like a bonus to the undizzy meter or something. I can't remember, it's something like that, and counter attacks give you like bonus start, like it gives the opponent like negative undizzy meter, so you can have like a longer combo, fit more attacks in, something like that. Which was honestly like great, because apparently as I heard, it basically shifted Skullgirls from being like, okay, how can I make the longest combos possible by starting each chain with like a different attack in a smart way, to being like, okay, how can I make my combos as efficient as possible? Yes, each of the chains needs to start with a different attack, but now I also need to make sure that I get the maximum damage out my limited moves that I can actually hit on the opponent. And apparently that was a good change, so you know, more power to Skullgirls. I don't know, like I guess because it's a game mechanic, I end up remembering it pretty well. So I'm just like, oh yeah, that's sort of like, not a core memory, but that's like something that's stuck in my memory. I was like, oh, that's like an interesting way to do like anti-infinite stuff. Because apparently, you know, I'm not saying Skullgirl started it necessarily, because I don't know that. But from my perspective, it does, because I didn't know that many fighting games. But like, it wasn't super common, I don't think, for fighting games to have anti-infinite like systems built in. Normally it would just be like, if an infinite is found, like they would, like, I assume, patch the game so it can't be like used, because it kind of ruins the integrity of the game. I mean, it's kind of like what wobbling was in Smash Bros. Melee or whatever. It's basically an inescapable infinite combo. If you don't know what it is, it's for the specific character Ice Climbers, who I like to play, because Ice Climbers is, I don't know, I just thought they were like a fun, gimmicky character, playing two characters. But it's basically a mechanic with Ice Climbers where you grab with one character and then stagger your attacks, and then immediately, like as soon as that grab is about to end, you grab with the other character, and it's basically like an inescapable grapple or something. Because you can do damage at the same time, but it happens or something by getting your other character to attack while the grapple's going on. It's something crazy like that, and it's like, whoa, okay. Banned in tournaments, not a thing which Nintendo, of course, would ever patch. Nintendo, not really the type of people to do that until Smash 4 came along, apparently. No, Smash All-Star. Wait, what? What's the most recent Smash called? I don't know. Because there are patches of that, you know, Nintendo's sort of like getting with the system. But yeah, I'm trying to think like what other games do for anti-infinites, because I swear Marvel vs. Capcom didn't have like an anti-infinite thing. I played a decent amount of Marvel vs. Capcom because a friend had it. The only thing I really remember from it is like X Factor, which gets stronger the fewer people you have, but it also like immediately interrupts whatever you're doing. So you can use it like, the one I remember doing is like doing level 1 super on Deadpool, using X Factor, immediately doing another level 1 super. It's like X Factor cancel or something. All of these random fighting game mechanics in my brain for a genre I don't really play all that often. What else with Marvel vs. Capcom? I don't know if it has anti-infinite stuff, Marvel vs. Capcom, to be perfectly honest. You might be like, who did you play in Marvel vs. Capcom? My favourite characters were Deadpool and Amaterasu. You might be like, did you also... Like, Deadpool movies didn't exist back then, you were probably too young, and you also had never played Okami, and I'm like, very true. They were still the characters I played. I don't even remember if that makes sense or not, because, wait, hold on, isn't that, I mean, like, an anchor character? Is Deadpool on point character? Maybe? I don't really remember. So I remember my rat friend as well trying to tell me about like how to, like, you're meant to construct a team. Marvel vs. Capcom, like some sort of balanced team. I don't know. I'm not saying like the concept of in fighting games, or like point, middle, and anchor, like that in general. But there's like certain characters who are obviously meant to be on each, and they're like certain like the point was meant to be like a tanky-ish character or something. I don't really remember anymore. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. But something along those lines. But yeah, I don't know what I was going to say about that. Yeah, like just doing fighting game combos. It was just interesting that Skullgirls released of it, and I remember the discussions around it. People be like, "Whoa!" Like we apparently had like an anti-infinite system, and it was actually kind of cool or whatever. I know Them's Fighting Herds also has like an anti-infinite system, where it's basically like the longer your combo goes on for, the heavier and heavier your opponent becomes, until that you basically can't juggle them anymore, because it's also a thing like if they touch, the first time they touch the ground, they get like an untechable ground bounce. I don't know why I know all of this. but then the second time it's like a techable ground bounce. So then like the combos in that game were so you do as much of a combo as you can, and they like hit the ground with the untechable ground bounce, and then you basically got to try and get like a reset in there before you do like another techable ground bounce or something. I can't remember. It's something random like that. And like what does making your the enemy character heavier do? It means that you can't like juggle them forever, because like you end up juggling them and they'll like immediately sink to the ground faster than you fall, so you can't actually hit them with attack to stop to get like the restand in, or to get the stop the ground bounds. And I don't know, something like that, right? Yeah, I don't know. No, I genuinely don't know. Let's see, like fighting games, anti-infinite. Is infinite combos bad game design? Totally depends on the context of a game. Interesting, that's fair. Because my immediate response is, yes, I think infinite combos are straight up bad design. There should be no infinite combos in a game. There should be no, like, OTKs or something. Maybe not no OTKs or something, but no true OTKs. Like, inescapable. Like, solved games or something. I don't know. Anti-infinite combo system. Does multiverses? Zero death combos are fun and it has no counterplay. Yes. Apparently, Marvel Multiverses or something has one. Oh yeah, Multiverse is a wild one. That's Warner Brothers like game with a load of like crossovers or something from characters, and then they like released it with like no voice acting or whatsoever. The game was like really popular for a bit and immediately died. And then they came out with Multiverses 2, and I guess it's doing well. Because I think they're going from like a free-to-play sort of like microtransaction angle. Because I remember, can't remember. Oh, it was Agent Smith was released very quick recently. I remember I saw like a video about it, and I was like, I forgot Multiverses was a thing. A lot of characters in there. Rick and Morty. Is that Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad? Arya Stark. Steven Universe. Is that LeBron James? Some of these might have been Multiverses 1. Also, am I making this up? Is there Multiverses 2? Or do they just call it Multiverses? Am I losing my mind? Wait. Was it not? Oh, hold on. Multiverses is not the SpongeBob fighting game, right? Or is it? No, it is. Hold on. What? No, wait. I'm getting really confused. Multiverses sequel. It's a sequel to Multiverses and released to Xbox video game fanon. Wait, is this even true? Or is this release date's 2031? Wait, did I just make this up? Did Multiverses never have a sequel? What game had a sequel? It had a season 2. Oh, that's not what I had in mind. Maybe Multiverses is not the game I was thinking of. Because it doesn't look like SpongeBob's even a player in this roster. Gizmo, interesting. Mage as a class is an interesting way to use RPG terms. Rain Dog. Wait, no, I'm thinking of a SpongeBob fighting game. What's it called? Oh, Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl 2. That was the one which got a sequel because they got they actually got the voice actors in or something for the second one. That one is the one I was getting so confused by. Nah, I don't remember all these IPs, yo. I know, I don't know how popular this ended up being, to be honest. Just remember they released the first one, it had like no voice acting whatsoever, and people were like, oh, it was really popular, and then it like died. And then they released the second one like a year later or something. We were like, what? Sorry, Multiverses, I didn't mean to drag your name through the mud. I'm not saying what Nickelodeon All Stars didn't necessarily like the worst thing ever. It's just sort of like a huh sort of thing. Multiverses, if you're going on strong, keep on keeping on. Nickelodeon All Stars. All Strats. Doesn't it, wait, does it not have a... Oh, I guess because I stand... I'd say YouTube search has been terrible, I feel like, recently. Does it not have a YouTube channel? Okay, well, fair enough. Thumbnail art, yes, okay. But hopefully it's the last one of the MS Paint thumbnail arts today, because I genuinely, I was just playing the Zone Zero yesterday, so I like didn't end up actually finishing it off. I really should though, especially because I haven't been doing like any art fight stuff. I said I was gonna miss like the first like few days of art fight, and it's fine, so be it. Okay, so let's do like a combo thing, like a combo breaker. 5, 6, 4, 9, 9, 9, and it would say groovy. I've been saying groovy a lot as well as my sort of like go-to affirmation. And then pew. What a terrible thumbnail art. Anyway, I'm going to have this episode off here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. Oh my gosh, my mouse speed is so slow.